Alright, Brad, this thing's about ready to go home. I've still got to put a coat of wax on it, and I was going to wipe down all your seals and door jambs and vacuum it out. But I just wanted to give you a little review of what all I did to your car while I was here. I appreciate you letting me work on this beautiful car. It's a 22 C8R Corvette, limited edition. They only made like 1,000 of these, and this is like $979, I think, or something like that. Extremely nice, smooth, extremely fast car. And what all I did on it is I put the Corvette spaces on it. I think they're made by Paragon, and they're made just for this Corvette, and it widens out the wheel track at about 20 millimeters aside, so 40 millimeters total, which brings that wheel and tire package right out to the edge, and it looks a lot better. You had a hubcap with the face gone off of it, so I ordered that, and I've already got that installed. Had to do a little bit of modified on these your wheel studs to make that fit, and I'll show you that in a minute. Changed your DCT filter, your direct clutch transmission filter, changed your oil, serviced your belly pans. One of the belly pans I had to take off to do that filter change, and when I was in there I found the rear pan had a bunch of gravel in it. At some point it must have scooped some gravel up in there, and there was a few there was 2 bolts missing under there on one of the center belly pans. So I got all that done, and got the, like I said, the hubcap on. I'm changing your brake pads to dustless brake pads, and a few more little Mickey Mouse stuff. So I'll just give you a little walk around on what I did here and how well it all turned out. To start off, when I was working on your car, I noticed every time I got in and out of the car, it was showing key fob battery was low. So I installed you a new Energizer key fob battery in here, and that has fixed that from coming on and seems to work a lot better. Up front here, I went ahead and changed your cabin filter. So I had to remove this, which it all just unsnaps, and slipped you in a new cabin filter. So I put you a HEPA charcoal type filter in it. This one is not too dirty, but it was getting dirty, so I went ahead and changed it and checked all the fluids in here, and everything's good, and I'm fixing to vacuum it out and then wax it all, and I'll wipe down all your seals with a conditioner on all the seals and clean it all up. I topped off your washer fluid tank, which is right here, and I'm just going to try to straighten up and organize everything in your trunk compartments. Back here in the back, I have swapped out your air filter. So your air filter showed it had 74% life left in it in the computer, but when I pulled it down to inspect it to make sure everything was good, I had to pull all this out and pull the rear cover. It looks pretty black down inside there, so just from dust and stuff. So I ordered you a new filter for your engine, your air filter, and installed your new air filter, and then kind of cleaned up and organized this area back here. And I had a little Velcro net that I had bought for another job, and I installed it back here in this corner to hold your towels and your window cleaner and detail stuff, and that keeps it up nice and out of the way. And then your helmet on this side and your car cover, and that hopefully will keep all that out of the way. So I did install a new air filter on the engine, and then reset the computer showing that it has a brand new air filter in it at 100% life. Alright, now as far as brakes and wheels go, we put in the Paragon spacers that are made and designed for the Corvette. It actually bolts on. It's a perfect fit on there, and then it comes with studs on it, and the wheel bolts to that, and it widens the car about 40 millimeters, 20 on each side, brings that wheel out just perfect, and really looks good. But in doing so, the original studs for the car are housed right in behind these spokes right here, and they just barely were touching where that leans in a little bit. And I called and talked to them there about it, and they were just talking about, since it's a special edition, it's a special wheel, it's going to take just a little bit of dressing on the ends of those studs. So this being such an extreme car, I took a lot of care in doing that. So I measured with the calipers how wide they were, how much space I got, how much I was going to need to remove, and I dressed every stud on your car exactly the same. That way there'll be no balance issues or no problems. Then went back and prepped and treated and painted those back the same color of the stud, so you can't really tell that they've ever been modified. Then once I did all that, I torqued all the spacers to the car at 140 foot-pounds on every stud, and then went back and had, checked them, one more time all the way around, re-torquing them to make sure that they're exactly where they need to be, and then took the wheel and I put a little bit of clay on the end of the studs, and then bolted the wheel back up there again just to make sure that that stud wasn't touching that wheel in any way, and it clearanced out real nice. So also in here, I put in the new Carbotech brake pads. This had the original Brembo pads in here, and they weren't, they were worn down, but they weren't that awful bad. But the new ones here are dustless, so it's supposed to help on the dust quite a bit. And got all that in place. While I was in there, I cleaned your coppers and waxed them, and kind of wiped down in there. And then I test drove it, and it got dusty again, but I got to wipe it all down again. And then I put your wheels on and torqued all the lugs on every wheel at 140 pounds, which is quite a bit of torque, but that's what's recommended. Checked all your air pressure. This car recommended 30 pounds of air pressure, and you were right in there somewhere. You had around 26 or 27, kind of random different little numbers in that area on all four of them, but they're all exactly at 30 psi now. And while I had that wheel off, I cleaned the inside of the wheel, waxed the inside of the wheel, cleaned the outside of the wheel, waxed the outside of the wheel, cleaned in the hose, waxed in there, cleaned your lug nuts, and then, like I said, torqued it all back to 140 foot-pounds, and did all four corners like that. So I'm gonna get it on up in the air and show you what I did underneath of it. All right, underneath there, you can see all this is covered in panels, little belly pans down through here. As I went through all this, over here on the side over here, I'll show you all these rocks right here. There's a bunch of gravel. They all come out of this rear pan right here. So at some point in time, it's scooped some gravel up in it, and so when I hit that, it shook. So I took this panel all down and got all those rocks out. I had to take this panel down to change that DCT filter that's up in there for that clutch, and then this panel had these two screws or bolts missing, and I found the exact screw that goes in there, so I was able to install those. And then I went and checked all your other panels, checked all the bolts, make sure they're tight. I found a few more little rocks here and there behind the panels, and I cleaned them all out, and just went over every bit of that as good as possible. Then when I had this panel down, I cleaned the face of it, cleaned the other side of it where the oil had been changed. There was a little residue here and there from oil. So while this was off, I went ahead and pre-cleaned all the engine, pre-cleaned all that out. That filter's right up in there, pre-cleaned any residue from oil that may have came from it. Kind of wiped down up under here these vents and inside of your wheels, and just kind of went over and checked and cleaned up everything. While I was back here, I cleaned up this stainless steel with an SOS pad. It was kind of getting a little tarnished, so tried to polish up both of those on each side while I was at it. But you can see how good your wheels are looking. And I drove it yesterday, and I got a little dust. I'm going to clean that up a little bit because my driveway's a little dusty. And you can see your new dustless pads. They're red. And yeah, all this under here is in pretty good shape. I love this emblem right there. It's pretty sharp. Very sharp car, but yeah, it's got a complete panels underneath it for airflow. Very cool. So I changed your oil and filter. I put in 7.5 quarts of the 0W40 Mobile 1. That's what it's recommended for it. And I've driven it, and I just rechecked it, and it's full and clean. The oil in the motor, it was due a change. It looked a little dirty, and I reset your values on your computer to 100% on the oil, and then I did the same on your clutch fluid. I reset that to 100% on the computer, and the clutch fluid was spotless. When I changed that filter out, it looked like it hadn't even been used. So good call on getting that oil changed, and then I just kind of went around and checked everything, wiped your seals down with conditioner. I'll probably wipe this back down, get this thing cleaned up, and she'll be ready to go home. All right, Brad, so that's about it. I'm going to get finish wiping down all up under the hood, the bond area, and wipe her down with a little coat of wax. I'm going to clean up some of the bug spots on the front of it, and then she's ready to go home. I really appreciate you letting me work on such a beautiful car, and it's on the way.